Crosby's Hometown Fuel, game day ready since 1922.
Oh, I am game day ready.
Are you?
Oh, I'm ready to go. What do you want? What do you want here?
I think you know.
You want bold, insane predictions? You want unfounded, barely conscious bravado? Do you want unreasonable criticism of the Carolina head coach?
That's exactly what I want. Hate.
The guy's a joke. Hate. You know what's happening here? This guy, Dave Canales is his name. In case you don't know, he's the head coach and lead punk of this Syracuse team. No, he's the head coach of this Carolina.
Who would know his name?
Little slap shot for you. I don't know. That's why all week I've had a real problem. You've asked me like 3 different times, I think, at the top of shows, like, what do you got? I'm like, I'm passing. I'm here to say today that I found something to dig in on, and after initially thinking, like I thought about it yesterday, I thought maybe it's just too frivolous.
Wow.
But
I have no idea what this is going to be.
I have decided, this guy, a little Gruden too. I mean, I'm all over the road already here. I brewed a pot of coffee. And I haven't really had any yet, but anyway.
Just you were close enough to it?
I smelled it. I don't know. I poured it. It's going to get worse. I touched the coffee. This guy, Canales, he cannot coach his team up enough to beat the Bills, compete with the Bills, be on the same field with the Bills without pulling some underhanded, dirty pool nonsense. You know what he did this week? Did you hear about this? He signed former Bills practice squad quarterback Mike White.
Okay. I wasn't going to figure that out.
You got to stoop to asking Mike White how their offense works because you can't watch the tape yourself and figure it out. Then you don't belong on the same field. Just get out of here, Canales. I got to talk to Mike White. I don't know what to do. Somebody get Mike White on the phone. Embarrassment.
Mike White. The bingo card metaphor or whatever that is just gets completely misused constantly. But if I literally did have a bingo card with what that was going to be in the end, I would not have had Mike White on it.
You wouldn't have won.
No. Oh, you didn't have that on your bingo card. Explain to me why I would have had a bingo card and what is this? What are you actually telling me? No, I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's happening. So,
I
guess we're in real trouble. They're going to know all the Bills' plays.
Well, I think we need to care more about whether the Bills know the Bills' plays
good
right now, right?
Good point.
I have been asking you, somehow finding time in and around questions about Dave Canales. Before these games, if there is a winning score that would bother you, like can the Bills just win this next game by any score and that's fine? And you've said yes every time. I mean, that there isn't a winning outcome that would bother you.
Right.
I am at a point with this game where there is.
Yeah, I said that already this week. Like I want to give the first time you asked me this week, I did I want to sit with I want to sit quietly and ponder like Josh Allen did when he was talking to Marty Smith before the Monday Night Football game 2 weeks ago, and give you the answer. And I sort of quoted Allen, like, I want to tell you one thing. I know how I want to feel, but if I'm being honest, here's the real nuts of it. And that's how I feel about this game. 2-0, fine. Just give me a win. Keep moving. Just figure your stuff out. You're still not fully formed. I don't know what the hell to do with you, but you won. Good. I don't know. That doesn't feel good enough right now. I think personally and obviously professionally, I need a Bills win that just sort of calms everybody down. I mean, I joke around about we're not going to make it to January. It's really that I'm not going to make it to January.
You know what? This is week 8, and how many of those have there been this year? 1. The Jet game is the only game.
Right.
That's the last time they covered. Baltimore was like just such a fluke. The Jet game is the only game like this year out of 7.
Where they just sort of got
6 out of 6.
Sort of got in the car and went for a nice drive. That was the Jet.
They were never in trouble.
We got this. Yep.
And, most NFL games are not like that. It's not like they should be. But my standard for them has become when they're playing bad teams, they rip them. Like they take the fun out of it not for Bills fans, but for anybody else. Like they just sort of like, this is much the better team. And They haven't had that this year, and you can make excuses for that. I mean, what did Kansas City do last year? Kansas City went to Carolina last year and barely won. Like, field goal at the end, maybe, to win that game. Like, that was
it looked
tight.
like it might go to overtime, but then I think KC pulled it out before OT.
Yeah, so if, say, that happens Sunday, you can be right there with, well, I mean, was Kansas City good enough last year? Because they had this against Carolina. They had that a bunch of times. And I know, but I think I've been talking to a couple of people today from outside of the area just about how this is going. One guy I know from L.A., and, they want to know sort of what does it sound like here? And I feel like it's natural because not only are we so close to it, but we are actually obligated to talk about it every day for a long time. I think it's sort of natural that you would talk yourself into not panic, but stress. Like, I think that's happened to me this week.
It absolutely, I think it happens, whether fans are conscious of it or not. I mean, I don't even know that you or I are as it's happening, but I think you can sort of maybe take a breath here after a whole week's worth of shows. It definitely happens. The longer you stare at anything, right? Stare at it, talk about it, think about what to say about it, be asked the same question 50 different ways about it, and try to come up with maybe at least 49 different responses because, it's a radio show. You don't want to just sound like you're a broken record. And, I mean, that lends itself to making everything into a bigger problem than it is. I think that's just natural. That happens, I think, in all kind of, outside of sports. You can do it with your relationships, whatever.
Overthinking,
yes. I think that definitely can happen because I think, I don't know how much more this LA person was not one of the people at the pool with Ross yesterday in his underwear, by the way.
He would never have admitted it if he were.
But I think from the further away you get from it, the easier it is to sort of look at them the way that maybe we were looking at Kansas City last year. Man, they're really fortunate, but they keep winning, and I'm still going to have to deal with them. And I think that's probably the objective view on the Bills. They're still one of the Super Bowl favorites. They still have this quarterback, and it's been, the ship has been listing different ways. Offense can't score enough points. Defense is getting chewed up, etc. But the overall, I mean, those are all problems I think we could see coming potentially. They're still that team, and so they're not a perfect team, but I think they're still one of the best teams in the league. Like at the end of 2 weeks of talking about all this, I think that's still who they are and what they are.
Was it Sal who made the point this week about, like, who are we inclined to compare them with? Like, who are the teams? They're not to be compared with great teams from other years, even themselves necessarily.
That's right. Sal has made the point that you're playing this year's AFC. You're not playing, the last 5 years worth of the AFC. You're playing this year's.
And I guess I would say whether they're a top 5 team necessarily or not, there isn't a team that I would assume they would lose to, right? Or just think that would be a big problem. The Colts are not this. I mean, the Colts might be favored in a game at home against Buffalo, but there's no team, even Kansas City, there have been so many battles with them that no matter how they looked last week or recently, I'm not going to think that the Bills just cannot hold up to Kansas City. Maybe they won't win, but so there really isn't that. It's just, I think from 2 weeks since Atlanta and not having another game last week, not really having any sort of good news or any evidence that there couldn't be any, that things are going to be better. What you have in that department is the 2 guys coming off suspension. But they've also lost a starting safety for a month today, and Daquan Jones, who didn't play against the Falcons, is out. And I don't know if they're coming out ahead from these changes. I mean, Jordan Poyer, if it's going to be Jordan Poyer, starting at safety for the Bills in 2025 is kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. It is not. it's not anywhere I ever wanted to be. I was away, I think, when they brought him back to the practice squad. But I know how I felt when I saw it. Like I think I even tweeted something. But I respect their wanting guys that know the system and leadership and tutoring. They've got a very young safety in Bishop that they have a decent amount invested in as a second-round pick. You want to have a mentor, fine. If he has to get on the field, buckle up. And I still feel that way. I just don't. I don't think his last year with the Bills, which is 2 seasons ago now, was very good. And you're another couple of years older. I'm very leery of that. If he's got, I would, easy for me to say, be careful what you wish for. I would just as soon put Jordan Hancock back there and hope that the mistakes can be minimized and that maybe the athleticism edge I get there over both Poyer and Rapp, I would say, because Rapp has been compromised. It seems pretty clear now that he's been compromised. He's on IR with a knee injury that he suffered in training camp.
That's the story.
So I would play the kid right now. And maybe that'll be a bit of a mix. Maybe they'll use sort of like they were doing with Trey White and Dorian Strong before Strong suffered the neck injury. Like spell, and see how, get him some training wheels, see how it goes, and see if you can trust him as you go along here. Give him a little more leash as you go. But yeah, I'm not excited about Jordan Poyer being back on the field. And even if it goes all right in this game, because again, usually on a Friday, I'm driving in here around 2 o'clock and I'm listening to the great Greg Cosell on with Steve and Chris Brown on One Bills Live. And
they're not great.
His describing the Carolina pass catchers, like it's not a speed thing that you should be worried about. They're big and physical. Like Leggett is big, McMillan is big. The other guy, I forget who was the name that was mentioned.
Who do you want? Jalen Coker?
Yeah, big guy, 6'3". Like there's size there. So maybe Poyer doesn't get exploited, but him playing safety against the Chiefs next week, like I won't be able to breathe watching that. Like that is terrifying to me. So I think maybe ideally what they do is get into a game here where they can afford to play Hancock and sort of try that out. But you're going to need a lead to do that. Like, you need the jet game. I need to get out in front, and then I can see and I can tinker and hopefully be ready to go next week with someone younger and more athletic. Because if I got to lean on Poyer against the Chiefs, man, I think that's a bad scene.
Uh-oh.
I don't mean to be skipping ahead games here, but
the lead. Are we taking the ball tomorrow, Sunday rather? Are we going that far?
I don't need to do that.
Hasn't the defense been getting kind of chewed up early in games? Like you don't want to get behind? I don't want to do that either, but all kinds of different thoughts have been bounced around here in almost 2 weeks. One that I guess I want to say I've come around to is throwing the ball to Cook. Like if the offense isn't going to be capable of just, like big body blows down the field, then how am I going to get there? Is it just by having 3 tight ends on the field? Am I Pittsburgh? Like what? How am I going to get there? And Cook has been on such a roll until these 2 games. Like these 2 games really didn't get a lot out of him. The touchdown streak he was on ended against New England, and that would seem like sort of an obvious correlation, right? I mean, that's how it goes with running backs. Usually if you're winning or if your running back is hitting, then you're going to be more likely to win. That's just how football works. But throwing the ball to him, which they kind of have stopped doing. Mm-hmm. They never did a ton of it, but it isn't really a part of their offense. And I might think that changes this week. At FanDuel, however, his over-under line on receiving yards is 13.5. So if you think maybe that will happen, I think you want to get on that app and play that. Yeah. 13.5 is one good play.
Yeah.
If they do that. But that's how you get beat at this. I mean, often with these really small numbers, right. Oh, that's obvious. That'll happen. And then, it doesn't. But that's one thought for this game that I've had is, all right, well, you had the bye. I don't know exactly what the matchup is going to look like. It's like when they played Atlanta. I only know so much about this team. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have to be bad, the Panthers. Their record is good. I mean, their record is 4-3, and I'm not sure how good they really are. This was the same with the Falcons. And in the first half, at least against the Bills, the Falcons looked amazing. They held on to win. So I have said all week, I think Dalton playing is probably good for Carolina. Just somebody that knows what he's looking at against, a Bills team. They don't play very much. I could see anybody like Penix even too, but he did fine. Bryce Young being like just sort of, this is new, and maybe McDermott, they give you sort of different looks from what's on film. I don't know if I'm going to be able to trick Andy Dalton, but it's not like I have to lose to him. I'm worried about the game.
I should be able to beat him without tricking him.
Well, pressure.
Listen, I get it. We're living in a world here where quarterbacks are coming back from the dead all the time here. We just saw Flacco last Thursday night. I mean, it happens. So could Dalton have one more moment in the sun like Flacco did last Thursday? Yeah, maybe. There is also something to be said for he's never been that good and he's old. So I don't know. Like try to beat me outside the hash marks, and maybe I got a pick six coming to me. I might even like putting into a parlay a defensive touchdown in this game.
Ooh.
Just those odds are always enticing because they don't happen that often. But I can't. I want to respect the point, but I also feel like it's another one of these things that I, myself, speaking only for myself, have just been looking at and thinking about for too long.
Which quarterback will have the higher passing yard prop?
I've not looked. It's Allen.
Allen is correct. 223.5 to 208.5 for Dalton.
That's not that big a disparity.
No, it's not, but they're also not that big of numbers.
Right. That's part of the point.
Sam coming up at 3:30, and I watched him again this morning, and he's been so pro Bills. Super Bowl bets, the whole thing. This morning he was talking on Bet Sweats about like Buffalo in this game. Come on. They've got to be the much better team. And I was listening to him like, I just don't know. I guess I want to say again, maybe it's just being in here where not only are we talking about their flaws all the time, but that's really it.
I think at the beginning of the year, I would have thought they'll be the much better team when they get on the field on October 26th against Carolina. Watching the games, it's harder to get there. Just because you've seen the Bills' flaws and you've seen Carolina win 3 games in a row, and they've got a running back who's put up like 400 yards total offense the last couple of weeks, and the Bills can't seem to catch a cold on stopping the run. So there are things to be concerned about in the matchup. But, if you go back to, the beginning of the year, I'm sort of with Sam. I should be the better team, maybe even I would say the much better team. I've got the much better quarterback. I've got this offensive line. I've got James Cook. I should find a way to make that happen. Like try tackling somebody. All right, guys. Like let's just try to get that done and not give up 180 plus yards rushing this week.
I'm just making a note of what you just said so I can refer to it later.
Okay, the 180 yard part. What?
No, I was actually writing down that it's for the 3rd day in a row. It's my anniversary.
3rd day in a row.
Yes, we went out
anniversary week.
It turns out we went out on Wednesday night to celebrate. Yesterday was the actual day. Today is what the wedding certificate says.
Oh, okay.
Is that what it's called? The marriage certificate?
Marriage certificate, sure.
Our marriage certificate is wrong. It mentions today as the day, so it really is anniversary week.
Well, this whole union is null and void then. You
guys I don't know. Sometimes I kind of...
Real trouble.
Sometimes I wonder. Yes, anniversary week. That's what I confess, that's what I was writing down. We have guests today. We have Sam Panayotovich coming up, Odyssey Sports Betting Insider, coming up next. We will talk to Theo Greminger today. Fantasy Points. Get your questions answered for Week 8. Sal will join us at 5. Drive at 5, if you will. What will these injury absences mean? Tyrell Shavers maybe plays a full-time role in this game with Palmer out. That's who got the work when Palmer went out in Atlanta. And then the Sabres tonight, game moved up to 7, so 6 o'clock pregame. Paul Hamilton will start things off on the pregame show coming up at 6. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, Football Friday on WGR with Sam Panayotovich next. We will be back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apple.